Hey, good morning from the office. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Getting everything ready so no noises pop up. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. North Georgia's only live, only live online morning show. If you'd like to get in touch with the show, we're right here, 706-889-9700. Also, there are all the social media ways you can follow us and contact us. Send us email, text me if you ever want to be on the show. At 8:30 this morning, we have Carla's Corner. That comes up at 8:30 this morning. Now, did the president, now wait a minute, just hang on here a minute. Did he get rolled? Did Pelosi roll the guy with the State of the Union address? This is the, hold on just a second, I had it here a minute ago. Let's go with, I'm trying to figure out which one says this, Josh. Hold on a second. Number 34, go with number 34. And then that's CNN first thing this morning, and then go with number 36. Trump blinks. Number 36, Trump blinks. Okay, so very quickly, let's get through this. I know you're upset. I know you're angry. It is our government, not theirs. It's our house, not theirs. It's our capital, not theirs. Okay, I got all that. I got all that. Yesterday, I'm in a text messaging group. A couple of them took off yesterday. Got a couple messages from other people. But she invited him originally. Now, let me say this one time, okay? Because I know I got the messages back. But Article 3 of the Constitution says this, but Article this and Article that, and this says this, all right? And I started getting that, and I understand. I am with you out there. But the reality of the State of the Union address and convening a joint session of Congress. Now, whether you like it or not, there's these little things that make the wheels turn, and it's called government with an N. And it makes the wheels turn. And in order to have a convened, to put it together, the Senate and the House, and to have a convened Congress, session of Congress, there's a couple formalities, whether you like them or not. The Senate has to pass a resolution saying that they want to go into a joint session. The House has to pass a resolution. Now, I don't know, the sergeant at arms, comes and yells at the door, Madam Speaker, the President of the United States. So he does all the shucking and jiving down through there, and he shakes hands and everything, and then he gets up there. See, what a lot of people do not stop to think about, it's a legal meeting. It's a legal convened session of Congress. It's a session, okay? It's a legal body of work that goes into the goes right into the books. It's recorded, and it's a session that shows up, State of the Union. And the Speaker of the House has to turn and invite the President to the podium and introduce him. And what a lot of people do not stick around for after the State of the Union is over is the Speaker of the House has to gavel out the session. There has to be, you don't hear it, but there has to be a motion and a second, and the meeting's over. You just don't see those kind of things, but it does happen, all right? The pundits start talking immediately, and you don't see it. That being said, Nancy will not do the resolution. She has control of the House of Representatives. She has control on what's voted on and what's not voted on, and she has the majority, and she will not do the resolution. That being said, Trump is not actually, the President of the United States is not invited a joint session. Well, okay, now, the President addressed the country. Let's put the facts out. let's be Trump supporters together and not get all worked up, okay? Because I still support the President of the United States. But the President used the Oval Office for a speech. Remember? The media went nuts over it, but and that's when Nancy and Chuck came out and shared the little podium in their response. But the President of the United States addressed the American people, okay? Let's look at how this is going. I know the media is responsible for the negative headlines and the negative comments, just like that right there. But that being said, the President of the United States came out and addressed the American people here, 3 weeks ago or whatever it was, and he looked at the country and he said, hey, he said he needed airtime in the Oval Office. This was a big deal. And he said we are at a state of emergency situation, and he told us, as the American people, we had to do something on the border, made a very compelling argument, all right? Then after that, he wants to give the State of the Union, and Nancy says no. Now, if he demanded a State of the Union based on national security reasons, it's going to be a stretch, whether you like what I say or not. It's going to be a stretch after the Oval Office speech, all right, if he was to do that. After 9/11, because I got the messages yesterday, the President of the United States can demand a joint session to address Congress on national security issues. Yeah, he can. He can, okay? He gave this speech a couple weeks ago, 13 minutes from the Oval Office, 9 minutes, whatever. Great job, Mr. President. But after 9/11, President Bush did not give a State of the Union. He addressed a joint session of Congress that was called based on national security reasons that was necessary, okay? President Trump, it would be a stretch. Don't get angry at me. It'd be a stretch to call a national emergency a situation. Now, that being said, folks, there's going to be 2 votes today. 2 votes, all right? Now go to number 38. This is the Democrats' plan. Let's be Trump supporters together. That's my line today. Let's be Trump supporters together, okay? Folks, to reopen, Senate Democrats propose to end shutdown. Reopen federal government through February 8th. Reopen it through February 8th. No money for border wall, but $12.1 billion in disaster aid. That's what Dems want to reopen. So if I scratch my head there, they want $12.1 billion in disaster aid, okay, to reopen the government. No money for border wall. And, they want it open till February 8th. We'll fight again in like 2 weeks. We'll come back to this in 2 weeks. So doubling back for the 4th time. Is doubling back for the 4th time, is that even something that can happen? But doubling back there on the $12.1 billion. Let me see. We're asking for 5.7. They want $12.1 billion in disaster aid. Where's the disaster? On the border? I know the other disasters they're talking about, but $12.1 billion. We're asking for 5.7. Now, I said this yesterday. I've taken about 2 or 3 days to read through several articles. The answer is no, Mr. President. No. Now, my understanding is both parties' bills in the Senate, the attempt to reopen the government will fall flat today. That's my understanding, is both will fall flat. But this is a scare. This needs to be a scare and a wake-up to Trump supporters everywhere. And we need to be Trump supporters together, and we need to nicely tell the President of the United States, what the hell are you thinking, Mr. President? $5.7 billion? According to experts, $5.7 billion has been lost just in the shutdown alone. $5.7 billion is a blink in itself. Mr. President, as you blink within the minute, you've spent $5.7 billion more in just the interest on the national debt. Are we experiencing the biggest smoke and mirrors that in recent time? Are we being taken? And my prayer is, I sure hope the president's not in on it. Please do not be in on it. $5.7 billion is pocket change. Pocket change. And we're going to trade our pocket change. If you take the $5.7 billion, it's comparison to the pocket change that you get out of your pocket every day and lay on your dresser at night. There it is. It's pocket change. In comparison to the national debt. It's pocket change in comparison to the interest on the debt. It's pocket change compared to the yearly 1 whatever trillion dollar budget and spending. It's pocket change, folks. 5.7. And we are going to trade our pocket change for amnesty. And I put out a tweet this morning. Please, Mr. President, please, the rest of you out there, stop telling me it's not amnesty. Stop. Stop right there. If we're going to trade our pocket change for something, let's get everything. I mean, if $5.7 billion is enough to put up the barriers needed to stop drugs, to stop crime, to stop illegals from pouring across our border, good if that's all it's going to take is a pocket change to throw at this problem. You do realize that's what they're doing, is throw us a pocket change at the problem. But the kids that are signed up under DACA, the deferred action, the kids that are signed up there, they would get another 3-year deal with a Social Security card and, you know, the works. Now they're thinking about throwing in the old green card to go with it. And then temporary status. They're going to extend you for 3 years. So if you're here, do you know what temporary status is? Do you know what temporary status is? Is when you come to this country from a war-torn nation, or somewhere in the world that, you know, you needed to flee, we give you temporary status. And the deal is, it's supposed to be up every, I guess, 90 days. I don't know. You fact check me. But it's supposed to be up every so often, 6 months or whatever. So that way, if your country is where you can return, if the climate in your country, not climate change for the weirdos out there, but if the climate and it's safe to return to your country, you're supposed to return. You're supposed to get the hell out. Your temporary status, and you are supposed to return. It's supposed to be reviewed every 6 months, and you're supposed to return to the country where you came from if you can, and your life is not, in jeopardy. So to give them 3 years, just 3 years, temporary status. If you're here on temporary status, you're here 3 years. Folks, if you're here 3 years, you're here. You are here, period, okay? DACA. We're getting nothing for chain migration, nothing. Remember the RAISE Act that Donald Trump and Senator David Perdue and Senator Tom Cotton stood up there and chain migration? And what did we do? Did we say that one unaccompanied minor or something like that, one, right, equaled 14? Is that what we had, 14? Remember the lottery system that we were going to change? We were going to start getting the best and the brightest. Our immigration system was going to change, and we were going to get the best and the brightest. Okay? Not just the lottery, immigration lottery. Remember that? Okay? Chain migration. catch and release, everything. But we're going to trade amnesty, green cards, temporary status for pocket change. Look at this. They want 12.1 just for disaster aid. Okay? I'm telling you, it is a disaster on the southern border. The President of the United States has made... Here's what happened. And there's days like this that it pains me. It absolutely pains me to come in and do this. And my question to you, easy on the attack back. Did the president get rolled? Wait a minute. Because why are you and I, Trump supporters, why is the President of the United States, why are we 2 years into his administration and begging for $5.7 billion when we had the purse strings? Now, let me show you something, okay? Remember last year, if you watched the show, a lot of people got upset with me in December for being bleak. A lot of people got upset with me in December for feeling that maybe I had kind words for Nancy Pelosi. I did not have kind words for Pelosi. Remember, all through 2018 election, I never fell for Pelosi wouldn't be Speaker of the House. For those of you that have watched the show for several years, I never one day fell for, oh no, Nancy won't be Speaker of the House. I never fell for the left media saying, well, this candidate over here said they won't vote for her. Is Pelosi in jeopardy? Never, big word, never fell for it here. Never. Knew in December what Nancy would come in and do. I watched her. I mean, I'm sorry. I hope your memory is not to where you need to get on the Ginkgo, Kaboba, whatever. But I'm telling you, I watched Nancy. I watched Nancy walk up that hill and not give an SH whether you got Obamacare or not. Oh, I watched her. And I knew she was coming back. Now, the one thing I want to leave Republicans with before my first half hour is up, are you recognizing the power that this little lady, Nancy, that talks like this everywhere she talks? Are you realizing the power that the Speaker of the House has? Do you realize in the flip side of this, all the times the Republicans told you they couldn't do it, they could have? Are you kicking yourself now? Why are we and Donald Trump, the President of the United States, begging for pocket change from Democrats? And Nancy is showing you what she could do as Speaker of the House. Paul Ryan's out there in Wisconsin with one of them little cheeseheads on saying, how you like me now? I got even with you. The hatred for this President of the United States, that they will actually get even or feel they're getting even with the entire American people, you and I, that voted for him. This is a long list. Paul Ryan could have got border security completed, the wall completed, the funding completed. They could have got it done. Here's my thing, and I asked you this, did President of the United States get rolled? And I'm sorry, I don't want you upset. Hey, as a businessman, as a business negotiator, and negotiating with North Korea and some other things that are going on, tariffs, trade deals, I think he's amazing. But when it comes to the House of Representatives having to send something to the Senate to put on his desk, okay, I've always said the things that Donald Trump actually has the power to do himself on a day-to-day basis is going very well. Outside of that, so did Ryan promise him? Did Ryan go in? This is the stories I want to know. I don't care about anything else. Did Ryan go in and say, Mr. President, you got to get us through the midterms? If we do this before the midterms, it'll sink everybody's ship. Did he go in and convince the President of the United States, hey, let me get out of here, basically, and then you can have your border wall money. Let me get out of town. Then fight Nancy. But he didn't say that. My bet is they went in, the Republicans, and told the President of the United States, let us get through the midterm, and when we do and we get the House back, then nothing will be in our way going into 2020. And I think the President may have went for that. So if you say, well, why has he waited till now? Now is it. This is all he has. So where does the President stand with this shutdown? All right. Number 39. 800,000 federal workers to miss second paycheck. Government shutdown day 34. 5 former DHS secretaries fund the critical mission of DHS. This is a food bank, okay? This is a food bank. Number 40, TSA workers depending on food banks. This is Secret Service there. Secret Service personnel carrying special challenge coins. TSA workers depending on food banks. I'm telling you, they're going to hunt until they find somebody in a dumpster. This is number 37. Cory Gardner, I think that's his name, senator from Colorado. Number 37, Senate votes on dueling shutdown bills. We understand he's going to vote on the Democrats' proposal. So we'll get into that a little more. Trump, this is MSNBC. They love it. Minka loves this. They're making hay out of this on CNN, MSNBC, and everywhere. Number 32. Number 32, I guess Eric Trump's wife, Laura Trump, unpaid workers, a little bit of pain. It'll be worth it. So she said in an interview, you know, it's going to be a little bit of pain, but the government, it's going to be worth it. We'll be better off. So they're playing that all day long. All right. Number 28, the chaplain, Barry C. Black, the chaplain of the Senate, prayed for this country and the shutdown yesterday and the people that were not being paid. Okay, number 29, the president tweeted out, number 29, as the shutdown was going on, Nancy Pelosi asked me to give the State of the Union. I agreed. She then changed her mind because of the shutdown, suggested a later date. This is her prerogative. I will do the address when the shutdown is over. I am not looking for an alternative venue for this State of the Union address because there is no venue that can compete with the history, tradition, and importance of the House chamber. I look forward to giving the great State of the Union address in the near future. So, and number 30 is Nancy Pelosi, who said, Mr. President, I hope by saying near future you mean you support the House passed package to end the shutdown that Senate will vote on tomorrow. Please accept this proposal. We can reopen the government, repay our federal workers, and then negotiate on differences. Now, I found the prototype of the wall at some testing. Now, you have noticed that the Democrats are going around calling the wall immoral. Immoral, right? That's what you call it, immoral. And I'm wondering what's so immoral about it. And they say it is so Dark Ages and Middle Ages and Stone Ages, and it's outdated, this wall. And you keep hearing catch and release. Catch and release. Well, we found a prototype. Now, we want to let you know no animals were harmed. The government said no animals were harmed during this testing, but we found a prototype of the new wall that Trump wants to put up, and we're going to run that for you now. Back to me. Now that's what Dems are upset about, the new catch and catapult. That's what I promote, the new catch and catapult. They come across the wall, we catapult them right back. So that's the testing. No animals were hurt during that testing, and that's what has Democrats up in arms over the new proposal of catch and catapult. I'll be back after these messages with Carla's Corner, and then at 9 o'clock, let's talk about Michael Cohen. Let's talk about Michael Cohen at 10 o'clock and a couple other things we got, or 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Take us a break, Josh.